Moose Country, welcome to another episode of Let Us Be Heard.
What's up, everybody? Call back here for another episode of Let Us Be Heard. We have another former Moose on the show today. He is a Memorial Cup champion, a President's Cup champion, and he's here today to let you know about his time with the herd. Please welcome Ryan Falkenham. Ryan Falkenham, how you doing, man?
I'm good. Things are good. How are you?
Not too bad, man. I just want to say thanks again for coming on the show, being a part of it, and saying hello to the Moose Maniacs once again.
Yes.
So you were 5th round pick, 73rd overall. Were you happy to be picked by the Moose? Was that something that you were happy about?
Yeah, going into the draft, I met with several teams and had conversations with teams. So I wasn't expecting it. Obviously, the Mooseheads were one team that did talk to me, but being young and excited, I guess I just didn't really have anywhere set in my mind. And where I was ranked and the conversations I had with other teams, at that point, I could only get drafted up to the 5th round. So I was getting a little worried. And then the Mooseheads took me, so I was obviously thrilled when that happened and pretty excited.
So you got picked by the Moose. You're a hometown boy. Playing on the ice. I'm sure you've watched the Mooseheads growing up prior to playing for them. So yeah. Playing on that ice, what was it? A surreal feeling?
Yeah, I mean, looking back now, in hindsight, there's a lot of things that I didn't realize then. When I came in, I was only 15. I was 15 years old, starting high school. But yeah, like that first game, the first few games, it was just I couldn't believe it. As a kid, you see junior hockey players and you think they're grown men. But when you're that age, you're not.
No, and you really compare them, like at that age, you compare them to the NHL stars. They might as well be in the NHL to you as a kid, right? Yeah, exactly. So you were good enough, blessed enough to be on the Memorial Cup championship team. Is there any off the ice funny stories that you can tell us?
I think the biggest thing is when we were there in Saskatoon, we had a lot of time off, so we got the bye to the final. And I just remember there was a park by the river down from our hotel, and we spent a lot of time there. We brought baseball gloves, we had footballs, and we would go there and spend half the day just hanging out, enjoying the weather. So it was different. That stood out to me because it was different.
It's great team building.
It was almost like, it was good team building in those days where, there wasn't a whole lot to do. We were on the ice once a day, but other than that, it was kind of like a vacation on those days. There was so much leisure time.
And it's so cool that you think that way after, you have this big tournament coming up and you guys are just chilling out, relaxing. It's funny, we make a joke here that a 5-year-old could have coached that team to championship. You guys were just that good. Yeah,
we definitely had the stars, but if you look at the other teams in the tournament, not a single analyst on Sportsnet picked us to win, and I think that's one thing that did actually help definitely helped was having Dom and it being that second year where our third, fourth line guys would be able to compete against the top guys, and we really had that depth in our lineup.
Oh, Ducharme, not to take anything away from Ducharme. Ducharme was an incredible coach. I'm not taking anything from him. Just you guys were just so talented. It seems like anybody could have stepped in and filled it because you guys were just on point. You guys really played off of each other well, and the fact that you had those bonding moments, those team building moments, probably played a lot into that too. I've heard stories about you guys were inseparable off the ice at times as well.
Yeah, I think even from the start of the year, that was our goal. Like, right from training camp, we knew we had the team we had, and our goal was to win the Mem Cup, win the league, come first place, win the Mem Cup. So right from the start, everyone was on board.
So I got a question for you. Besides the obvious, the President's Cup, the Memorial Cup, what's your favorite Moose memory that you can think of?
Uh, it's a little corny, but coming into the room after we won the President's Cup, that was pretty special, and that's something that Ducharme actually did mention throughout the year, was that feeling of achieving something with the team, but that feeling when you all come into the room and you're together and you achieve what you were trying to, that sticks out to me.
Yeah, brotherhood.
Yeah, and we had a lot of fun too.
So we covered the 2013 season. What was it like in 2013, 2014 at the home opener?
Oh, it was the energy was almost the same as the playoff run.
That's awesome.
So that was pretty cool. And we had a very good team that year as well. Things didn't work out. Obviously, I wasn't. I only played the first few games of the season with my injury, which was disappointing. But yeah, the energy was carried over into that next season.
Now you mentioned your energy or your injury. You had a couple surgeries, did you not?
Yeah, I had both my hips operated on my 18-year-old year, and then I came back at 19. Uh, Surgery didn't work out, so then I had to have them both operated on again during my 20-year-old year.
Tell me how that feels for a guy your age. This is just so everybody else understands what you guys put your bodies through and the mental fatigue it takes on you guys. For an 18, 19-year-old, 20-year-old to potentially seeing his dreams flushed down the toilet in the way of injuries. What's that do for you? How do you battle back from something like that?
I think the first time around, like they were tough surgeries where I was held up for quite a while, like unable to walk, unable to get around. But I think the first time around, it was, I thought it was going to go perfect. I was pretty optimistic. I believed everything the doctor told me. So I didn't really think about really what could happen at that point. But yeah, at 20, after those surgeries, I knew I wasn't going to be able to play anymore, and that was it for me. But I think it just takes time. Like it takes time to adjust, because you are playing sport full time. Like that's your job. You obviously have goals to keep doing that. But definitely took some time. But in saying that, I was very fortunate to be able to play to the extent I did, and the years that I did play, and that in itself was special.
Yeah, a lot of kids don't even get the chance. It's just a pipe dream just to play in the queue, and it's no small feat to walk away saying that not only did you play in the queue, but you got a little bit of hardware to go home with. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, there's always what ifs in life. But I think I'm very, very fortunate and very lucky. It sucks that I didn't get to see where I could go or what could have happened, but I'm pretty grateful for the opportunities I had just in junior.
So we talked about the team a bit, but what was fan interaction like for you back then? Was it something that was important to you? Did you enjoy going out to all the blood drives or school visits or the kids skates and season ticket holder skates? Was that a fun thing for you? Did you enjoy that aspect of the job?
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that, because I actually just saw on Facebook a memory come up. It was my first year with the team, and it was during a skate. And I was looking at the picture, looking at all the guys, the kids. The rookies had their helmets on, of course, and just seeing Brad Cuzner, and I think he was in the front row, trying to pick someone's nose, and Travis Randall came around, and you look at that picture and you just realize, how in the moment you were, how much fun it was, and the kids were loving it. But yeah, the fans obviously make it what it is. The energy during that playoff run, even just a Wednesday night home game, the fans obviously make or break that atmosphere, and they're a big part of it. Yeah.
It's funny. We have record sales this year. It's absolutely incredible. Every Wednesday, Sunday night, afternoon, it's electric. Average of 9,100 people in the stands every game. Like, that's ridiculous for a Q team, right? That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean they put on quite a show.
Yeah.
Like obviously their product on the ice is almost unmatched across the CHL. with consistency and good teams almost every year. But the actual show they put on, the light shows, the noise bangers, really what they've done with that stuff, their marketing team, the same guys have been there for a long time. So, you have to give them credit for making it a show and doing a good job bringing people in.
It's crazy. Nobody goes there and works there for a year. They're there 12, 20 years. It's crazy. So after the Mooseheads, you ended up going to Drummondville, am I correct?
Yes.
And you coached there as an assistant.
Yeah, I was there for 2 years. So I helped out during my surgeries. I helped out as a 20-year-old, just doing some video with the team. Ducharme was still there, and then he left to Drummondville, and they're looking for a maritime scout. So I did that for 1 year, and then the year after, they actually needed an assistant coach. So I was still in university at the time, so it actually worked out with school to use it as a co-op. But I ended up staying 2 years, so one with Ducharme and one with Steve Hartley.
That's awesome, man. Now, this is off the script a little bit, but how did it feel being a part of that team and playing the Moose after 4 years with the Herd?
Yeah, it was funny. There were still a few guys on the team that I had played with, so that was interesting. But coming back to Halifax, because there's only one game in Halifax a year, coming back to Halifax, there was actually some mixed emotions with fans. So there's a couple people that didn't seem too happy with me. But it was an opportunity to work with the guys that I played under and worked with for years. And I'm glad I did it. That was a great experience. I learned a lot about, the coaching side of things and just the game itself. But yeah, there was a couple fans that were upset. And I think the first year we won. I'm not sure about the second year, but on Ducharme's calendar, Hartley's calendar, my calendar, that was a big day. That was a big game for us to win.
It's funny. I don't know if the fan state of mind has changed since then, but I hear it at least 5 times a week. Once a Moose, always a Moose. We will make signs for former Moose who are coming to the building, or we'll meet them out back afterwards just to either get signatures or talk to them. And I don't know if that's changed a bit since you were with us, but we're very welcoming of former Moose in the barn now.
Yeah. I was more just poking fun at that. I don't know how serious they were. It's sports, so you want your team to win, and
could be chirping.
Yeah, it's one thing that makes the Moose fans so great. And yeah, they've done a great job with the alumni program. I'm actually going to the game tomorrow night, and nice. They have for the game they have a little setup room where they have parents, alumni, billet families, that type of stuff. So they've really, really done a great job with that and getting people together. And they've always taken care of their ex-players and always welcome them.
I'll see you there. That's at Gate D. Will be your entrance there, the VIP door. Yeah. So that's where we wait. So I'll see you there. Come up, say hi. Is there any regrets or unfinished business with the Moose? Like anything you'd like to have done while in the queue or with the Moose?
I mean, we won the President's Cup and the Memorial Cup. So I mean, we did that. Regrets. I don't really think I have any regrets. Like, I'm 28 years old now. And like I said, when I started, I was 15. So, if I could go back, I might do things a little bit differently. But I don't think there's really anything that I look back on and I wish I could change.
Do you still follow QMJHL or just the Moose or just the Volts or?
I follow the league. I don't get out to many games. I try to get to a couple games a year. I made it a point to go to the Drummondville and Moose games there for a few years when Hartley was there, still coaching. And obviously you're going to have Greenwood on. I always made sure I went to see him. But I don't follow it a whole lot, just with everything going on. And the hockey I'm involved in right now, I don't make make too much of an effort to get down there, but it is nice to get down there.
It's funny. One of our favorite, well, my favorite coaches to ever sit on the bench for the Moose are now playing for Drummondville, or is now coach for Drummondville, Sly.
Yeah, it's funny how that happened with two coaches, just the way it worked out.
Yeah, we miss him. So my next question you already answered, but I can ask you to what extent are you involved in hockey now? Let us know what you're doing now.
Yeah, so last year I coached some high school hockey with some friends of mine for a couple of years, and they, with their work schedule and their life, they weren't able to do it anymore. So I left that, and then last year I wasn't coaching, and then Jim Bottomley, he's kind of he's well known in Nova Scotia, well known in the country as a junior coach. He's actually the most winning junior coach in history. So he approached me. Yeah, he approached me to come on with his junior B club. So I came on, and we actually hosted the Atlantics. The season went well, and I came back this year, and I'm doing that again.
Nice, man. Nice. Do you like working with the kids?
Yeah. I mean, they're not that young. They're 18 to 21-year-olds.
I suppose, yeah.
The junior B league, they allow 4 overagers, but the overagers are actually 21-year-olds.
Yeah.
So they're young men. They're in university full time. They're working full time. They're in trade school full time. So it works out well with being able to manage my personal life, my work, and also being able to be involved in competitive good hockey with young men.
Yeah. Now you were named the C. You were given the captain spot. What responsibility comes with that? Like, did you feel a certain amount of onus on your shoulders?
I think I don't know if I felt a lot of weight or any onus. Me and Austin Hardy were the only 2 guys left by the end of that year from the Memorial Cup team. So it wasn't so much that I had to change who I was or how I did things. I think that's a big misconception with a lot of people, is that as a captain you need to be super vocal, and you need to almost be the boss in some ways. I think like I said, Austin Hardy was there as well, so it was kind of the 2 of us were the older guys that had been on the team, had been around. So we just did our thing. We did our thing, and we're ourselves. That's what you have to be. Whether you're a coach, whether you're a player, you have to be yourself, and you don't need to try and be something you're not.
Oh, good advice, man. Is there anything you'd like to say to players of today, players of tomorrow, to the organization, to the fans, for your time with the Herd?
Yeah, well, obviously, I've stayed in touch with some obviously players I played with, and some of the staff, and like I said, the staff does a great job, and I'm very thankful to them. Bobby Smith, when obviously he doesn't have the team anymore, but he really cared with the players, and he made sure that the players had everything they needed to succeed during their playing time and after.
Oh, well, that's awesome to hear.
Yeah, very appreciative of them. Just overall, the organization really, brings in professionals that know what they're doing.
Yeah.
The fans, I still stay in touch with some people that were at the games.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
They make it happen. They make the feeling for the players. They make the players feel like they're pros. So can't say enough about their support and what they enable the players to do.
Yeah. And oh god, I had my train of thought and just gone out the window. Is there any last bit of advice you can give that 15-year-old that's coming into the queue, or about to come in the queue, or playing his first game? Is there any words of advice you would give him, or encouragement?
Yeah, I think especially nowadays, since I started in 2011, I think there's a lot of noise. Whether when it comes to the scouts and even other parents, there's a lot of noise, and sometimes it's not so positive. And at the end of the day, it comes down to what you do on the ice. So I think just looking past what other people are doing, and just playing the way you want to play, and obviously working hard, but just not getting distracted by the outside noise. Just having fun, enjoying it, and that's really when you'll get the best out of yourself.
Oh, that's great words of advice, man. Listen, I just want to say thank you again so much for coming on the show. It means the world to me. I know it'll mean a lot to some other fans who are going to be watching this. I wish you nothing but success and happiness in your life. And just again, thanks for coming on, man. I really do appreciate it.
For sure. And I'll see you tomorrow.
Beautiful. See you then.
Yeah, I'll see you then. Have a good one.
You too, man. All right, everybody. That was Ryan Falkenham. I hope everybody's healthy, safe, and happy out there. And as always, go Moose, go. Beauty.